Wasn't that a great book?
Okay, I'm going. Can everybody hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Excellent. I wasn't sure. So one of the reasons why I wanted to show this book is because it does show that different cultural lens around financial decision making. The goal was to get a car, but not so much for the individual, so the whole family could enjoy it. The purpose was the reason was around the whole family taking that opportunity to do something that they wanted to do together. Again, showing that collectivism, cultural aspect in this book. I want to also mention this is part of our FEPP financial library. We have a series of books, and this is The Labor of Love of the amazing Amy Cleaver, our elementary program supervisor. She has identified so many books. They're intended for earlier grades, but honestly, middle and high school students have responded really well to being read these books. Everybody likes to be read to. I like to be read to. So please do check it out, even if you do have high school students. It's also a really fun way of introducing a topic, introducing a new lesson, introducing a new concept. And it just makes you feel good. A lot of our culturally diverse students don't always get a chance to be read to. Many of them, it's because of resources. Their parents did not have access to books. They could not afford books. They may not have had access to free public libraries. So it's a real treat for them. I know I've always enjoyed being read to. And as a child, it wasn't something that really happened for me for those same reasons. So I wanted to share it because it is a dual language resource. It is available in English and Spanish. It highlights those financial values and how cultural plays into the financial decision making. But it also goes into something really important with our culturally diverse students, and that is savings. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the next slide. By the way, we're over halfway there. Well done, everyone. Thank you for hanging in there. So one of the reasons why I'm talking about savings and these resources I'm going to share with you again are from the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I told you they have hundreds. They're some of my favorite. Some of them are also available in English and Spanish. Not these though, but many of them are. It can be difficult for students who come from collectivist cultures to have personal goals around finances, to have personal goals that pertain to meeting their wants and needs and not so much those of the community. And it can be challenging for them to engage when you're talking about savings. And one of the ways I think we can mitigate this is by talking about the need for emergency savings. And these lessons, creating a first aid savings kit, and reflecting on what it's worth saving for, do a really great job of explaining, hey, emergencies happen. Your car could break down. There could be a health issue, some type of medical emergency where you may be unable to work, and you're going to rely on those savings to kind of get you through until you're able to get back on your feet. That could not only benefit the individual or the student, but someone else. If it were to happen to a person in your community or in your family, then you could give that financial support until they can pay you back. And this could be one of those culturally appropriate ways where you're honoring their financial values, their cultural values around how they handle and think about their resources, while also introducing them to the concept of, hey, we really do need to save. It's great to share your resources. It's great to engage in gift giving and support everyone in your family and in your community, but this is important for a reason. With that being said, I want to share with you an incredible financial education curriculum. One of the most highly culturally relevant curriculums that I've seen is called Building Native Communities, Financial Empowerment for Teens and Young Adults. I'm so excited to share this curriculum with you. It was created by the First Nations Development Institute and OISTA Corporation. These are two Native organizations that are working in the financial education space. And this is due to the need for financial education resources in tribal nations. Many elders realized when per capita payments became popular, students at the age of 18 were receiving. Now, I want to make sure I clarify, not every tribal member receives per capita payment. Not every tribe receives per capita payments, but many of them do. So you turn 18 in these tribes, you get per capita payments. Not everybody gets a whole lot of money. It could be as little as $10 or $100 or as much as thousands of dollars. the point is, many of these youth, because they didn't have financial education, were mismanaging their funds. And that's why the tribal members, the tribal elders came together and decided, hey, we need to support our youth with financial education so they don't blow their money, because that's what was happening. This financial education curriculum does a great job at explaining the importance of being banked, of budgeting, of allocating resources according to your needs, prioritizing needs over wants. But they also do something that I really love, and that's they have a session called Money Talks. And it explains how to have those financial conversations with your friends and family, because another thing that was happening was, hey, you're getting your per capita payment because you're turning 18. Can I have some money? And students didn't know how to handle those situations. This curriculum has a great session on lesson 1 that really gives students the vocabulary and the tools to have that conversation and say, hey, I have this financial goal for myself. So even though I'm getting this payment, and even though I'm working now and I'm getting a little bit more money, I cannot right now support you and your financial needs because I need to meet this goal. I'm trying to achieve this for myself. And it just kind of includes others into what your goals for your finances are, making them aware, okay, well, this person has a priority to meet this goal. I need to be responsible for myself. And that can be really hard. Again, Native American cultures also very collectivist. They prioritize giving. That's how they show wealth, many of the tribes. They prioritize community over the individual always. And a lot of the resources are shared with everyone in the tribes. But it's again, it can be difficult because of those circumstances. When an individual wants to achieve certain financial goals, it's important to give our students and our youth those tools to have those conversations with friends and family. Additionally, building Native communities, financial skills for families is another financial education curriculum. This one is meant for older students and adults. Again, these are created for Native students, but any student that has that collectivist value, that has those cultural values around financial decision-making would benefit from these curriculums, because that is the lens that they are presenting information from. Additionally, they also honor Native traditions beautifully. Every single lesson, it's composed, the first one I was sharing with you, Building Native Communities for Teens and Young Adults, has 7 lessons, and they explain all financial topics so simply, but so in such a way that it empowers students. Once you go through the curriculum, you feel like, hey, that's all there is to it. I can do it. And again, for students who are culturally diverse, it can be a little intimidating to talk about finances. If you're throwing a bunch of phrases at them that they've never heard before, they can kind of shut down. This curriculum does a great job at just explaining it in a way that is engaging, in a way that uplifts and honors their culture, and really creates that opportunity and that space for students to feel included. Going back to the Building Native Communities financial skills for families and adults, this curriculum in particular is great for explaining banking. So many of the adults in Native communities are not, again, they're part of that 22% that are unbanked or underbanked. And they don't always know how to go about opening a bank account, what documents are needed, the importance of obtaining credit, having a credit history, building your credit history. This curriculum, Building Native Communities, financial skills for families, does a great job of that. And if you're having family night and you want to include parents as part of what you're teaching your youth in financial education, your students in financial education, this would be another great tool for doing that. Now, I know my boss, Lance Rosinski, and Tracy Godat would be really mad at me if I didn't mention I am a certified trainer on both of these curriculums. They're wonderful, and they supported me attending Train the Trainer workshops from OVISTA and First Nations Development Institute. I had a blast. These trainings are free of charge. They're supported by different organizations, so they're free of charge for educators. I had such a good time. I learned so much from these Native organizations, and I encourage anyone who wants to participate in the training to take it. It was incredibly powerful.